All right, let me ask you about something else. As you have probably read this morning, the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman, Donna Brazile, has some pretty stunning accusations in her new book, including that the Clinton campaign signed this agreement with the DNC before the election that essentially allowed them to operate the DNC to control funding, et cetera. This is before she was a Democratic nominee. And Senator Elizabeth Warren told our Jake Tapper last night when he asked her, do you believe that it was rigged, and the notion that it was rigged as a result of this on the Democratic side, she said yes. So here's what the president does. He goes after Senator Elizabeth Warren this morning. Here's what he writes. Pocahontas, that's what he calls her, just stated Democrats led by legendary crooked Hillary Clinton rigged the primaries. Let's go FBI and Justice Department. Okay? Now here's how Elizabeth Warren just responded. You might think your tweets are cute, real Donald Trump, but they won't stop Mueller's investigation or keep people out of jail. She also wrote, I understand your desperation to change the subject. Your campaign manager was just indicted for conspiracy against the United States. Your take on all of that?
It is indeed a distraction, and it's just one more example of insulting the American public. Look at this shiny object instead of the most important investigation in our country's history since Watergate. The allegations that she talks about in the book are well worth investigating. The Democratic Party needs to look at itself long and hard to make sure our process is appropriate. But it is by no means comparable to what's taking place in the Mueller investigation.
But let's separate it, because you do bring up, as a Democrat, though, you bring up an important point, that this does bear, that Donna Brazile's allegations do bear investigation, do bear looking into, that the Democratic Party needs to look at itself pretty hard here. Do you agree with Senator Warren in the notion that if this is the case, if Donna Brazile's allegations are true, that it is rigged, that the process was rigged against Bernie Sanders?
Look, I think rigged is a really strong word, but I have no personal knowledge of how that process works. I've never been a part of it, but it doesn't mean I don't care about it, and I'm for a full and open process. Democrats looking at this, and again, making sure that the process works for the American people and the Democratic Party.
Well, Congressman, you choose the word then. You know, other than rigged, how does it sit with you, knowing what you know this morning?
I know only what I've seen in the press at this point in time. I haven't read her book, but I'm open and willing to listen to anything and find out exactly what took place and what we need to do. I'm just stressing. Look, this is a distraction. The President of the United States is being investigated, and his associates, for conspiring with the Russians to attack our democratic process. This is a desperate president who did anything it took to get power, and he's displaying his willingness to do absolutely anything to retain it.